So the Off-Road Pro Series single exhaust system from Magnaflow should be the exhaust you want for your 14 to 18 5.3 liter powered Silverado or Sierra if you want one of the most affordable, one of the simplest, and one of the deepest sounding exhausts for this motor. Now at around the $500 price point, this is one of the least expensive systems available, and that's for good reason. You are ditching your tailpipe, so there's less material that you gotta pay for. However, the stuff you are paying for is good quality. It is made out of factory grade 409 stainless, so you don't have to worry about this thing rusting or corroding on you. Any systems that will be less expensive than this one will be typically made out of aluminized steel, which is not stainless steel. So again, you want a very affordable system, but you still want stainless. This is also a good choice. Now, there might be some concern with drone inside the cab, but as far as loudness goes, this system is actually not too over the top to my surprise. You would think with a muffler this small and with that off-road qualification that it would get a strong 5 out of 5 on my loudness meter, something like the Borla ATAC or the Flowmaster Outlaw, but I'm happy to say this actually gets a strong 3 out of 5 on my loudness meter. Definitely wakes up that motor, but it sounds really deep without being too drony or too crazy. So I would say again, if you want the deepest exhaust, you want to hear that motor inside the cab, but you don't want to drown out your passengers when you're having a conversation, this would be an excellent choice for you. Now, installing the Magnaflow system is very straightforward. It is a bolt-on job, so I'm going to give this a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on my difficulty meter. Shouldn't take you more than an hour or two with basic hand tools. You don't even need any power tools because it is measured for your cabin bed length, but I'll also show you guys that in just a minute. So again, if you want one of the deepest possible exhausts for the 5.3 motor, you want to do it affordably, stick around. I'll show you exactly what tools you need, and then I'll walk you through the entire install step by step. To install our new CAPAC, you'll need a standard drive ratchet with 13 and 15 millimeter sockets. Optional but helpful tools include a cordless impact, some spray lubricant, and an exhaust hanger puller tool. All right, so obviously before we install our new system, we're gonna remove our old one. Now there are 2 generally accepted ways of doing this. One way you can cut the system out piece by piece. We wanna retain our factory system as one piece, so we're gonna remove it as one piece. And in order to do that, you have to disconnect the factory mid pipe from the Y pipe. You're gonna need a 13 millimeter socket to loosen this clamp. All right, so once you got that clamp loosened, technically your factory exhaust is no longer connected to the vehicle. The next part is actually removing it from its rubber isolators. There are 4 in total, 1 in front of the muffler, 2 directly behind it, and 1 at the tailpipe. We're gonna tackle 3 of those 4, and then I'll show you how to drop that last one so you can pull the entire factory CAPAC out from underneath the truck as one piece. All right, so once you got 3 of those 4 rubber isolators removed, you want to tackle the last one very carefully because this is the last thing that's actually holding the CAPAC to the truck physically. So again, spray it down with some lubricant, make it easy on yourself, get a hold of that hanger, gently pull it out from the rubber isolator, and what you want to do is let the tailpipe rest on the axle. Then you can push the entire system back towards the rear of the truck. You want to clear the cross member with the flex fitting up there, let that drop down, then you can push the entire system out from underneath the truck. It is a little bit heavy, so take your time with this. It's also helpful to have a friend with you. All right, so we have our factory exhaust removed, pretty straightforward, right? We got our new Magnaflow system mocked up next to it, so I can point out some cool similarities and differences. And the big differences I like about this is we're ditching the tailpipe and we're also ditching this big ugly resonator here. That thing really kills any sound that might escape this big old muffler here. So that's why the new Magnaflow system is so much louder and prouder. Now you also don't have to deal with that extra exhaust hanger on the back there because this is a turn down system, and again you can see how it exits much closer to the cab. That's where you're getting all that volume inside the cab. So if you're a fan of hearing that 5.3 motor, that's why you'll certainly like this system. Now, cool similarities here, they do retain all the other factory hanger locations, so you don't gotta worry about modifying anything on the bed rails, you don't gotta worry about bolting up any new rubber isolators. We're also reusing that factory clamp that we loosened earlier, and again, because of our mid pipe here, it is measured for your cabin bed length, so no cutting required. Overall, a pretty easy install. Now, if you might have noticed, there is an extra hanger here on that mid pipe. That's probably for a different generation truck. These are modular kits, so Magnaflow likes to combine parts here, but if you're working on the same truck as myself, you don't got to worry about installing anything for that extra hanger. It's just there for different truck configurations. But at any rate, pretty easy install, so let's go ahead and get this thing bolted up. All right, so obviously we have to hook up our new mid-pipe to our factory wide pipe, and again, we're reusing that clamp that we loosened earlier. We're also reusing that first rubber isolator, so you want to spray that down so you get that hanger in place. Now we're going to tighten down that clamp enough to hold this, but we want a little bit of play in there. That way we can move things around until we get everything bolted up and tightened down. All right, so we got our mid pipe in place. We have a little bit of play in here. Now we're gonna throw on our extension pipe. Now this does step down, so you need the largest clamp in the kit. You wanna throw that on your mid pipe before you throw this in place. And again, we're not using this exhaust hanger on here. We're gonna keep it oriented in the same direction for consistency, but it doesn't actually go into anything. All right, with your extension pipe in place, you can throw your muffler in place. Make sure you grab another small clamp in the kit, throw on the inlet here. Once you get the muffler on the extension pipe, you want to put these two hangers into the factory rubber isolators. Also spray those down, make it easy on yourself. All right, so with the muffler in place, the last step is throwing on our turn down here with the last remaining clamp in the kit. Once you've done that, make sure everything's lined up and you're happy with where it's sitting. Then you can tighten everything down. Now, all these clamps use a 15mm nut on the end, so you're gonna need a 15mm socket to tighten all this stuff down. All right, once you got all those 15mm clamps tightened down, do a double check, make sure all your tubes are lined up nicely, then come back to the wide pipe and tighten down this clamp with that 13mm socket. All right, so once you got all those clamps tightened down, that'll wrap up our install. Pretty straightforward, and that also wraps up my review of the Off-Road Series single exhaust system from Magnaflow with the turn-down configuration fitting your 14 to 18 5.3-liter powered Silverado or Sierra. I'm Travis, thanks for watching. Keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.